Hey, you guys. This morning, I got a chance to sleep in, kinda. Um, we had some plumbers had to come out to the house, so I had to wake up early at first, but then I went back to sleep. And then I lay in the bed for a while, and I was thinking about our kids. I think about kids a lot. The kids these days, and kind of comparing them to how we were, and thinking about how the elderly people or the people that were grown when we were kids were talking about how we were. And I did that recording. It's been a few weeks back, about how some of you weren't raised with your grandma. You can tell. Well, I think that in trying to not do what our parents did, and I say our, not because I did that, because I didn't. I tried my best to raise my kids as closely to the way my parents raised me as possible, which most of my friends think I was really spoiled because some of the stories that they have, I don't have. Like, I didn't get woke up in the middle of the night to wash dishes that I didn't wash before I went to sleep. My mom didn't yell at me on the phone. Like, if I was on the phone, she didn't yell for people to hear her telling me to get off the phone. When I was little, my parents read bedtime stories to me every night. I a lot of times when people are like, you remember when you had to wash the baseboards on Saturday mornings? I'm like, no, I didn't have to do that. So no, or you can't go anywhere until your room is clean. I really didn't have that either. Not that I didn't have rules in place, but my parents were more lecturers. People don't understand the torture of a lecture until they've had to sit through one. And that's pretty much what I've done to my kids. My kids, don't get me wrong, have gotten, spankings, but I can count on one hand for each one of them how many. And the same for me as a kid. I can remember maybe one or two, maybe two, maybe. Um, as a kid, I just didn't get, a lot of corporal punishments like that. My parents they would punish and stuff like that, but I just didn't get spankings, and I turned out fine. But they made it clear not to try them, and I was like that with my children, like, don't test me because I'm nuts. Um, but I'm noticing with the kids, like even with my children, I made my kids go outside and play. Absolutely. I didn't let them sit up under adults and have the adult conversations. Even in our family, you had to be a certain age before you can sit at the big table. Okay, with I think you had to be 13 before we let you come to the big table. The only one that sits there now that's not 13 is Noodle, and that's because she can't be trusted by herself. And she's 3. But when she gets big enough, she won't be at the big table either, probably. And just think about these kids and how entitled we have made them, or how, in some ways, wimpy we've made them. I was the only child for 10 years. And I didn't spend every day at my grandmother's house on my dad's side, my paternal grandmother, but I went over there, and spent time, and I had my cousins. Because on my mom's side, I was the oldest grandchild, and it just wasn't a bunch of us. But my dad's mother had 12 kids, and so in eight boys and 4 girls. You can imagine the craziness of cousins I got. I had tons of cousins, and in dealing, having to go over there to spend time, with my cousins, I learned a lot before school. And when I say I learned a lot, like far as how to defend myself, not being super sensitive to people talking trash about you and stuff like that. My cousins were, we were ruthless when it came to, jonesing on each other and just playing. And, I got called tomato head. And I went to a church that sung hymns and stuff while their church was singing whatever was on the radio. So when we would play church, everybody be laughing and sniggling because I'm singing hymns and all that sort of thing. So it prepared me before I went to school to, kind of have a tougher skin. And sometimes I feel sorry for the kids now because they don't have that same opportunity as us. And in an effort to be so different from our um, previous, our parents and our grandparents, I think that we on some level got it right. And in some things, we did them an injustice because they're so shielded. They have no idea sometimes the dangers that they are in the world. You know what I'm saying? And they're somewhat disrespectful. Okay. Um, I as a teenager, I cussed like a sailor. Okay. I'm still trying to get past that. I still, have a potty mouth. But I did not cuss like a sailor in front of adults, and these kids now, they're like, whatever, they'll cuss in front of you. They will try things that you didn't even think about trying, and you probably still ain't. You probably still in debate about trying. You know what I'm saying? And I, in that way, feel bad for the children because some of those foundational things that we got and some of those things that we thought were torturous, they really build character for you. You know what I'm saying? I love all of my cousins. We may not all be super close, but I love all of them. But, we all teased each other. You know what I'm saying? And so by the time we got to school, I bet you, and just kind of reading my cousins' posts, we're all grown. Of course, we don't hang out like that anymore. But I know that we're all tough in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. It takes a lot to really just get to us. And some of us probably have bully potential. But, with our kids, it's like we want to jump in and rescue them from every single thing. And that's not good for them. You know what I'm saying? Even with me raising my kids the way that I did, and like I said, I didn't do a lot of spanking or anything like that. But I was really real with them about things. And, I'm that mom that if you get into a fight, and look at my hair, if you get into a fight and you just let somebody beat you up, I'm that mom that's like, you gotta go back. You don't just let nobody do you any kind of way. I'm that type of mama. I'm kind of old schoolish. But at the same time, teaching them not to hold grudges, move on. Don't let what people say you are determine who you are. It's just not true. If you're going to do something, do it because you want to do it, right or wrong, whatever it is, not because someone else pressured you into doing it. I was surrounded by people that did a number of things, but I did not do those things that I didn't choose to do. There was nothing that I did that I didn't choose to do myself. Okay. I don't care what's going on. I'm making the choice, and I had friends that would actually discourage me, and relatives discourage me from doing crazy things that they were doing because they knew they were crazy, but they were just doing them. We really need to, and I don't know if we can even repair it at this point, with the kids. And like I said, it's not, when I say we, I'm just saying we because as a whole, it is what it is. Not because that's what I raised my children like. Because I didn't, I raised them as best I could, like my parents raised me, because I figured I turned out pretty good. Yes, I can be nutty. Yes, I made mistakes in life. But at the same time, I am tough enough and soft enough at the same time. I have respect for my elders, even though I'm grown. I respect other people, and I do not feel like anybody owes me anything that I have not earned. And it's really important that we teach our kids that, and just to remember that all of our parents didn't get it wrong. All of our grandmas didn't get it wrong. Some of that stuff was very much necessary in order for us to be the human beings that we are today. And do you want your kids to be self-entitled, disrespectful people that no one can stand, including you? So, and just, let's try to do better by our kids. They don't know any better. We're in charge of them. And we're there to guide them. Let's make wiser choices when it comes to how we do that. All right, you guys, I'm out.